everybody, Build666 here, back from a very long hiatus. As usual, that's been the case, but it doesn't mean I've stopped watching movies or collecting. It just means that I've been too fucking busy to keep up with the updates, any sort of that deal, but that also means the update's fucking huge. So let's get right down to it. By the way, I have, the music that you might be hearing is Infirmity, just an EP that I picked up recently at a show I was playing. I looked them up at Facebook/Infirmity. I believe the spelling is INFIRMITY. Alright, first up, we got this 12-pack of zombie movies. Includes Carnival of Souls. We all know Carnival of Souls. I've reviewed that in the past. Great movie. Dead Men Walk from 1943. I believe I've reviewed that in the past, and it was decent for its time period. It's really hit and miss with that time period, but Dead Men Walk is cool. Horror of the Zombies. Yet another one that I've touched on before. This is from 1974. This was decent. Let me find what I bought this for, honestly. I bought this for Mutant from 1984, starring Bo Hopkins, Lee Hauser, and Jodie Medford. And that kicked ass. Very cool take on a zombie movie. Very different. I was honestly not expecting the route they went, considering it's placed in the South. You should definitely find a way to check out Mutant. Like I said, it's from 1984. Go check it out. Was there anything else I bought this for? Oasis of the Zombies from 1981. I believe that's the only other one I bought this for. That was not exactly what I was expecting either, but it was about as cheesy as it can get. The zombies were very, I don't know, I guess you could say Italian style looking. Was it made by... I don't believe it was actually made by the Italians, but it had that style of zombie makeup, in my opinion. Very slow going, but a must-see for any zombie fanatic. Go ahead and try and find that. I'm not quite sure where I bought this, but if you see it, pick it up just for those few titles. Next up, I have Blood Runs Cold. It's a newer slasher that just came out. I won't go into the storyline. They're all typically the same when it comes to slashers. There's the cover art if you want to look for it. This was your run-of-the-mill, well made. I'll give it that. Nothing too suspenseful, very predictable slasher, but the kills are cool nonetheless. Check that out. These next few packs, it's like a 9-pack and an 8-pack. It's all like Charles Band affiliated shit. So the first one, here it is. It's got Sideshow, Mr. Halloween, Demonic Toys, Dust Devil, Bunnyman, Killjoy, Scarecrow Slayer, and Secrets of the Clown. I've touched on a lot of those before. I think I bought this for Sideshow, Mr. Halloween, sorry, and Dust Devil. Dust Devil was actually pretty cool. I got this because I already had the Killjoy movies, all 3 of those. I think there's more now, and I think I have all the Demonic Toys movies. But I got this for the Gingerdead Man franchise. There's 1, 2, and 3 there. Those all kick ass. They're hilarious. I mean, how could they not be? Gary Busey's in all of them. So that's just... that's all that Charles Band shit. I picked this one up knowing completely what it was going to be about. It's pretty predictable what's going to happen here. Was not what I expected, was not as good as I expected. It had so much more potential that they just couldn't tap into, really. Shrooms. This is about as predictable as it gets with this sort of movie title. So, check it out. It was decent, though. I just watched this one today. It was a very shitty movie. I've just been picking up whatever I can get my hands on lately, and this one's Paranormal Asylum. This is worse than most of the Asylum, the movie production company's movies. And I actually got one of those coming up, which I actually really liked a lot. This was garbage. This is one of those movies that's not just cheesy, it's boring, and it's very hard to sit through. But if you must, there's, Paranormal Asylum. By the way, it's not from the Asylum, it's from Nadomi. This one, she picked it up because she loves San Francisco. I didn't really go into that. My girlfriend's in the room. But she picked this up. It's called Curse of the Zodiac. This was incredibly bad. And like I said, she only picked it up because there was a deal at like an FYE or some shit, and she really liked San Francisco, so she wanted to see if there was any cool shots of that city in it. But as it turned out, it was just a terrible movie. The Zodiac narrates it the whole fucking time. I believe he says the word fat fuck and pretty girl or some shit like 400 fucking times. It's one of the shittiest fucking Zodiac movies I've ever seen. Fucking horrible. Don't see that. Don't waste your time. Okay. Here we have, I believe this is a 6-pack? 5-pack. Don't Look in the Basements on here. I've touched on that before. Great movie. I believe that was paired up in drive-ins with Last House on the Left or some shit. Scream Bloody Murder is on here. That's the one with the tractor scene at the beginning. It was decent. I actually didn't mind it. This has got Silent Night, Bloody Night. Again, I've touched on that before. Great movie. It's got the Hatchet Murders, otherwise known as Deep Red. You know, one of my favorite movies of all time, from my ultimate, favorite directors of all time, Dario Argento. And the Severed Arm, I picked that up in like a 4-pack a long time ago. I believe the only reason I bought this was Scream Bloody Murder, and like I said, that kicked ass. What's next? This is something I had to watch because I watched the first one, and it's White Noise 2. This gets slightly too biblical for my taste, but if you're into that sort of thing, go ahead and give it a try. It's nothing like the first film, at least from what I could tell, and I don't know, it just didn't grab me. This one's called NightFall, From Twilight to Dawn, Inside the Vampire Phenomenon. It's like a documentary on the vampire craze nowadays. It was an interesting watch. It's just something you pick up at Walmart for fucking $5. It's got the Devil Bat with Bela Lugosi in as well, so, why not? Sorry for the excessive coughing. I've been sick lately. I didn't watch anything on here except for From the Dead of Night. It was just an 80s movie that I had heard about, and I wanted to check that out. It proved to be a very long, boring experience, and it just wasn't for me, man. Maybe I'll watch these all and, review them. I know I've reviewed Memory before, but I believe that was pretty shitty as well. Just something I picked up for the fuck of it. Next up is something that's been getting a lot of attention lately. It's a VHS. Haven't picked up the sequel yet, but that's not of that concern right now. Was not impressed by VHS whatsoever. It was okay, I guess you could say. Definitely overhyped a ton. Like, I was expecting so much more from this, but I guess I should be mad at myself. I usually never go into a movie expecting more than anything can, possibly deliver. Maybe I'll give it a rewatch here soon, but definitely not bad. Just not what I had in mind. Alright. This next one's called Curandero. This is the whole Mexican cartel sort of business with a satanic twist. This was cool. I don't want to go into the storyline because it's a decent storyline. It feels like something Quentin Tarantino would do, and rightfully so. Robert Rodriguez is a big affiliation with this. Him and Quentin have touched, on the same sort of deals they do. They try to make things feel dated, and there was definitely that feel for this. This is pretty cool. Nothing to outdo Planet Terror, but it was definitely a cool watch. You know me, I can't stop picking these up. These Maneater series movies. This one that has Behemoth, Roadkill, and Ferocious Planet. All of them sucked. What more can you say about the Maneater series movies? None of them are any good. They're just cheesy watches, and you know me, I like to watch that sort of shit. So if you are too, pick it up. I am in love with Goosebumps. So when I saw that they released The Haunting Hour, the entire series, it's sad. I don't know. I'm not quite sure how many volumes there are, but this is volume 1 of The Haunting Hour from R.L. Stine. Another cheesy ass show. It's very similar to Goosebumps. Not much to say about it. It's just cheesy shit. It's not really 90s horror. It's got definitely a new vibe to it, but it's very similar in every aspect of Goosebumps. This next one's called Bats. About killer bats. Was it good? Yes, it was good. It was very entertaining. I'm pretty much straying away from going into storylines at this point because I've been told in the past that I'm very bad at giving away. Like I'm a horrible spoiler for movies. And I am. I'm terrible. All I can do at this point really is say if I like it or not, and I did like that. You should check it out. It's a cool killer bat movie. That's about it. Alright. I had 2 of these. I don't know where the other one went. It'll come up on it eventually. It's like a 2-pack of like this sort of stuff that I got at Walmart. Nazi hunters. This is about how Nazi war criminals were like tracked down over the decades after World War II. This was a very interesting watch. There's some graphic footage of like executions going on. There's people's heads getting blown off. And it's pretty cool shit. Like, you know, real footage. That's basically all it is, though. If you're not really into the traumatizing sort of real shit, then don't watch it. But I mean, who doesn't love watching Nazis get their brains blown out? This was something I'd been wanting to pick up for a long time. I'd always wanted to see it in like the dollar theaters while it was still around, but I didn't get the chance. It's got Danielle Harris in it. It's The Black Waters of Echo's Pond. I was so let down by this. I was expecting it to be so much more like in depth with the story, and it was so predictable and so like cliche that I just couldn't believe what the hype was all about when it came out. Not to say that it was a bad movie, it's just another overhyped thing that I'm guilty of going in assuming too much for. Nevertheless, give it a watch. It was pretty cool. Black Waters of Echo's Pond. We're nearing the end of our first part here. I don't want to let the batteries go out on the shitty camera. I'm still using the same terrible fucking camera. Here we have the complete second season of The Walking Dead. None of you need me to tell you how this is. It's The Walking Dead. Go fucking find it on Netflix if you don't know what it's all about. Just picked it up to have it. Okay. Battle Dogs, another Asylum movie that was really bad. Very, very bad special effects. Cheesier than shit. I enjoyed watching it just for that aspect alone. Battle Dogs. We have a Uwe Boll film here. I believe it is, at least. Yeah, Uwe Boll presents Zombie Massacre. This, oh god, Uwe. Just stick to the Rampage style, man. Like, this was alright, but I don't know. Sometimes it's hard to make it through Uwe Boll's films. I don't even know if he directed this or what affiliation he has with it, but yeah, it was alright. From the makers of Nightmare on Elm Street 1984 comes The Demented. Was expecting a like seriously supernatural twist to this. Doesn't seem to be much more than a terrible zombie movie. It's very let down by this. I mean, what a horrible marketing ploy to be let down by the makers of Nightmare on Elm Street. You'd think there'd be, you know, a little bit better quality of a movie going on, but if you must, The Demented. Okay. Not much of a review for either of these two things I picked up. I just picked up whatever editions I can find of either of these or any of these films in the series at this point. I think I have them all now. No, fuck that. I know I have them all now, but it's Night of the Living Dead and Day of the Dead, 1968 and 1984, I believe, Day of the Dead came out. But yeah, just new editions for those. I pick them up whenever I see them. And, let's see here. I'll do a couple more. Okay. Go with this one first. This is Spiders. It's a new movie. It was actually pretty watchable. The spiders in this are pretty fucking cool. It's not too bad on the suspense. It's just a new killer giant spider movie. And if that interests you just by the description alone, you should definitely check it out because it is worth a watch. Next up is this Asylum movie that I was talking about. It's from the Asylum. It's got fucking Daryl Hannah and Anthony Michael Hall on it. It says it's from the director of Feast, which I fucking love, and from the director of Piranha 3D. And those were both great, gory, spectacular movies. It's Zombie Night. This has actually got some pretty brutal scenes in it. It's got some good gore. I mean, nothing that I can't really complain about anything. This is actually the best I've ever seen from the Asylum, and highly recommend it. If they continue to put out stuff like this, then there's hope for them yet. I think this will be the last thing I review for this section of the review. And what a good closer indeed. It's Django Unchained. Not horror, but it's from Quentin. I love Quentin. Most of his movies are in my collection as of now. And no need to spoil the storyline for anybody that's not seen it. It's a great movie. Lots of cool gun-like shootouts and very in-your-face dialogue. It's very true to its time period. Definitely worth a watch. Pick this up. Django Unchained fucking rules. And I believe that's the end of part 1. See you in part 2.